Deep in an underground secret Pacific Island lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Morning Funtime. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your morning cereal ready, because here we go.
Good morning.
No, I'm sorry. Come on.
Are we on?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're on. We're here.
Okay.
We're live.
Well,
Memorex.
it is Saturday morning, everyone. Hopefully,
Somewhat.
everyone's had enough.
Whoa.
We good?
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to wake up and have their cereal and go about their day, although considering the time, a lot of us should already be finished with lunch. But it's Keith here with John. Hello, John.
Hello.
Martine.
Good morning. Hello, Keith.
And deleted scenes because, hey,
Good afternoon.
he's cool like that.
I have
Let's
my
say
moments.
a big hello. Oh, you know what? I do too. Let's say a big hello to Penny. Penny, subscribe, like. Yeah. You know, let me just say this. The thing about being a fan, film, TV, comics, literature, you know, everybody has that thing that they really, really, really love about those that book or that show or that movie that they just love. You know, the thing that separates it from everything else. Honestly, of the films released up to this point, you know, I've had films that I've enjoyed this year, but nothing that's really just been the end all be all of this year for me.
This year's
Barbie
been
was just
horrible.
not it. And I'm not saying that to say something bad about it. It just wasn't it for me. You know, I'm glad that the people who enjoy Barbie enjoy to the point where they go back and see it again and again and again. And you know what? I wish them to do it as many times as they want. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. It's good to have that kind of success. I wish we could have gotten the version of the Flash that Andy Muschietti was allowed to show Tom Cruise and David Zaslav and James Gunn, because the one that I went to the theater and paid for, that was not that version. I wish we had gotten that.
Yeah.
I wish a lot of the films this year were as good as I was hoping it would be. Between now and the end of this year, I'm not expecting hardly anything except maybe Dune 2.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Denis Villeneuve can take it over the finish line. You got a great setup here. Let's just see if he can carry it over the finish line. How about you guys? Anything up to this point really just says, I love that. I mean, what's one movie that up to this point that came out this year that you can just say, I really, really love that film?
Super Mario Brothers.
Cool.
Mission
Cool.
Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Cool.
And the Dungeons and Dragons movie, although it didn't do that well, but
You know what? I don't hate that film. I'm happy for the people that enjoyed that film, but that movie didn't push the needle for me. You know, I enjoyed all the in jokes, but something about that film, there was like an invisible barrier between me and having the ultimate good time with that movie. And I think part of it was the fact that I had figured out how the film was going to end.
Yeah.
I mean, way before that. Like, during the early half of the second act, I knew how the movie was going to end. And that kind of spoiled it for me, you know. Still fun for what it was. Hopefully they would have made provisions to eventually make a sequel. I would like to see everyone in that back again. So
they've said that if they can find a way to do it cheaper than they did it before, they have no problem doing a sequel.
That really is the rallying cry for a majority of the films released in the last 5 years. Do it cheaper.
Yeah. And I completely forgot. We can't forget about Sound of Freedom.
Haven't seen that yet. Haven't seen it yet. You know, who knows? That may just be it. But of the films I've seen so far, it's not doing anything. I mean, again, not that they're bad or anything. What about you, Deleted?
Yeah, this hasn't been a year to jump for joy over. I mean, there have been some good movies, but, you know, anything I would watch more than once, not many. Now, I like John Wick 4, but I understand why others don't. I do agree that it's kind of two different film ideas mashed together to make one film.
Yep.
It is too long. I agree. But I still had fun with it. Mission Impossible.
I get the reason why they made it.
Yeah.
I get the reason. Let me add on to that. I do understand the reason why they made it a longer movie. Okay, I completely understand that, because both really Chad and Keanu were probably of the opinion that they needed to let it rest for a bit, and I get that. So I mean, you're hot right now. There's no other film franchise that, for one, has been that original and within the same time period. Nothing else that is even close to being original during this same time period that has captured the imaginations of film fans worldwide and did it for the price that they were able to make it. You know, to me, they've accomplished a lot and did it in a very short amount of time. Kind of sounds like the MCU, except that unlike the MCU, they didn't blank the pooch in the end. So
yeah.
But continue, please. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to add.
No, that's fine. Mission Impossible is a movie that I thought was a lot of fun. Not as good as some of the others, but still pretty good. I if I had any issue with that movie, and I really hate saying it because it is a part one. We've only gotten half of the story. We don't know where it's going. I mean, I got a couple of ideas where it might go, but it just reminded me too much of Person of Interest, because it basically is the plot line of that show. You got to see whether, you know, you have a good AI battling an evil one. Of course, the good AI in this case being Tom Cruise, who might be AI at this point. I don't know. You know, he keeps surviving. Damn it. You know, he's 10 years older than me at least, and I would be in traction after half the shit he does. But you know,
my argument for the whole Tom Cruise thing is this: if I had access to the kind of money and medical professionals and everything that I need, I could probably be a lot better than I am right now. But I don't have the money. I don't have access to all the professionals, medical and otherwise, that can help me do that stuff. That's my only other argument for that. And again, I'm not here repping Tom Cruise, but he is the savior of Hollywood. And so far, until somebody else steps up whose name isn't Keanu, I think he will remain the savior of Hollywood for a while, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, again,
Yeah, another good movie I thought was Oppenheimer. You know, now
Mhm.
as to how historically accurate it is, I'm sure it's not entirely. You know, are there things in it that are compressed or events changed around? You know, sure, but you get that with every historical movie. They're never going to be historically accurate because, you know, they have to work dramatically as a film first because you're making a film. You're not making a documentary. Um, but I tell you, that it certainly makes me want to go out and read the book it's based on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And any movie that can make me want to go back and read a book. When was the last time a movie did that? It's been
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the one movie that I thought was outstanding and it got slept on because it came out the same time as Super Mario Brothers, which just ran over everything, was a movie that's been talked about on Military Monday before, The Covenant.
Hmm.
Yeah, that kind of got.
That is an outstanding movie.
Yeah, it's Guy Ritchie though. I have a problem with Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it doesn't play like a Guy Ritchie movie.
I love Guy Ritchie movies.
You know, it plays out like an action thriller that has, you know, really strong characters in it, especially the two leads, and the supporting cast is pretty outstanding too. I mean, you've got Sherlock Holmes, the Widow, and you know, Bjorn Ironsides. You know, you can't go wrong with those guys. You know,
Yeah.
and the guy from The Boys, Homelander, he's in there too. But yeah, I mean, that was, those 2 hours flew by, and I think that's one of the things that works for it is it's not 3 hours for no reason. You know, it's just taut, tight, get to the point 2 hour action thriller, and it's one I think people should. If you haven't seen it yet, please go out and give it a look.
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, give that's all I ask. And hey, you know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, I mean, everybody's not. You know, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Oppenheimer isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are people who have just decided they're not going to like anything Tom Cruise ever does. But you know, it's all a matter of personal taste, I think.
Yeah, I used to be in that Tom Cruise camp. I used to hate Tom Cruise, but he won me over.
Well, again, it's all about separating the art from the artist.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, look, you don't go into the entertainment business if you were a completely sane person. If everything in your life was perfect, you really do not go into the entertainment business at any level, because it's not for people that are balanced.
No, definitely not.
Especially over these last 10 years. I just got to say, I mean, this is definitely, as a fan of the entertainment industry, at least the way that it was, this has been difficult to watch a lot of this stuff, almost painful at times. You know, I don't enjoy what Disney's gone through at all. I take no pleasure in any of that. It makes me kind of sick. You know, my earliest memories of enjoying Disney, you know, either The Wonderful World of Disney, pick any of the networks it had been on, any particular Disney related show. To see what's going on now is sad more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I say that about everything else, whether it be what Warner Brothers has gone through, or even what Paramount has been going through and continues to go through. Because in no way will I ever truly accept anything from Alex Kurtzman, and I'm not just talking about Star Trek. I've given that guy more chances than, just about anybody. And I keep getting burned. And the people that he has working with him, at least as far as Star Trek goes, as far as the writers go, are just awful. They are stealing money for how bad they are. I get the fact that there are people out there that love this stuff. And again, like I keep saying, if you love it, you love it. But your problem is that you've chased over half of the overall fans of Star Trek have been chased away. And if you're one of those people that have deluded yourself into thinking that everybody loves it because you love it now, I'll be taking payment for the swampland that you were easily sold on the moon. This is not good stuff. There are, look, people still talk about Battlestar Galactica because it was a much better show than what you're being given right now with K-Trek.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even The Magicians is a much better show than K-Trek.
Ouch.
And that's no slight to The Magicians. I enjoyed that show. In fact, in my opinion, it should still be going on. I mean, they still had a few books left. They still had a few storylines to do. They had everybody.
Yeah.
There's quite a few shows that should still be going on. I'm glad that Doctor Who is getting back its original showrunner. Now we can. A lot of people who have become fans recently can actually see what really good, well-written Doctor Who episodes are like.
Fingers crossed.
Well, no, I believe in what he's doing. Whom I don't trust are the people at the BBC. Those guys, I do not trust them.
Well, they already nixed his original casting.
Yeah,
I know. I would have loved. Look, I will tell anybody that wants to listen. I am here day one. If they had wanted to just cast who they wanted to cast, or if this particular actor was his original choice, I'm on it. I'm about it. But it wasn't. And the BBC did something really, really wrong. Now, this particular actor may turn out to be incredible, but my argument against it is not about him. It's about why you brought back the producer in the first place.
Yeah.
And then started telling him what to do. If that's really what you want, you should have kept the last idiot that you had and just let him by the nose left, right, and center.
Yeah.
If you're going to trust somebody, trust them. And that's really what it comes down to.
Well, the thing that torques me off, they had already shot the regeneration scene with the actor he wanted.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you got to use this guy. Because we need check boxes.
And again, nothing good ever comes from telling a truly creative person what they have to do. Seriously. Nothing good. Because if you're one of those people that does believe that something good can come out of that, you're fooling yourself. You truly are. I just think that for the amount of money that you want to spend on this, and going into the 60th anniversary, and that's the other screw up they had.
Yeah.
This year is the 60th anniversary. There's no 60th anniversary special.
Nope.
They were able to put things together for the 50th.
And we've still
couldn't get their act together.
We've still got a lot of doctors alive.
Yeah. Yeah, if the BBC actually knew what it was doing, they should have been able to get their act together and put something out for the 60th. The very fact that they couldn't tells you everything you need to know. Everything. I am a firm believer that executives don't know what they're doing unless it's actually about paper pushing and business. Outside of that, they have no real creative input that I want to listen to. Because every single time they get involved, they're messing it up. And there are way too many examples of that. At the top of the list is Justice League. Justice League was the complete and utter failure of the executives who just wanted their way. That is it. That is a near unarguable fact.
Yep.
Given everything that has now come out in terms of the memos, the articles, everything. If you're going to tell someone like Russell T. Davies what to do, you better have a really, really good idea. Better than the one that he's come up with. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna give the BBC their shot, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, they're just gonna have to try a little harder to win me over with this new actor. But I think eventually he will. You know, again, it's not his fault. He's a working actor. He wants to work. Feel bad for the other guy, but you know, then again, you know, he's not the first actor to have gotten the shaft from the producers.
No,
and I don't think he'll be, and he will not be the last. You know, that is an unfortunate fact. Again, all I'm saying is I had nothing against Jodie at all. I still consider her to be an incredible actress. And I just think that she was completely and utterly let down by some of the worst writing ever. Not just for Doctor Who, you know, just the worst writing. There was no reason why the writing had to be that bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Definitely.
Well,
anyway, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how about? No, forget it.
No, go ahead and say what you're
Oh,
saying.
no, it's too spicy. Let's move on.
Oh, you're sure? Because it might be perfect for what we're saying.
No. The Peter Bergman fan side has just arrived.
Christian Delorme just showed up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, going off what Steven said a few minutes ago about movies that didn't do well at the box office, but that you liked really well. I had to look up because I was thinking it was December, but no, it came out in February. Knock at the Cabin Door.
Cool.
I really liked that movie. Of course, then again, it's an apocalypse movie, so of course I'm going to like it.
Yeah, I need to give that one a look.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I really want to.
I've not seen that one either.
That's I realize it's M. Night Shyamalan, and
he's not that bad. He's hit and miss. It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
When he hits hard, man. I'm not gonna rob him of that. Oh. You have
Death Row TV. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Oh, I have such a fun story with that movie. It's a redemption arc, if you if you will.
You know what, Death Row TV?
Speaking of which, I should start the slideshow.
Yes. I was just going to say, I think it's about time we get to it, because I think we got quite a few people here that have shown up for this. So if you're someone here that's hear about Reign of Fire, we are starting in. A little bit of a delay because, Keith had a Saturday morning rant. So just blame it on me. Or if you want to tell it this way, we were just waiting for you to show up. So now that you're here and now that you're joining us, we are ready to talk about Reign of Fire. Now, let me just say this. Part of the reason why I wanted to see this movie when it came out was because of Rob Bowman, the director, was someone who I had come to really admire him as a filmmaker from his work on the X-Files.
Mm-hmm.
Big X-Files fan, and this is a 2002 movie. So, going in through the 90s, I mean, yeah, there's just no way you could have gotten through the 90s without at least running into an episode or two of the X-Files and getting to see at least a couple episodes by Rob Bowman. I thought this movie had an incredible look. It was like nothing I had ever seen up to that point. And it was a fun film. It was a different way of having a film that had dragons in it. I mean, I've never seen anybody successfully do that. A modern dragon story, or modern, air quotes, dragon story. I also love the cast. Christian Bale, Gerard Butler, just to top it off. Alexander Siddig, because, again, we're coming, it's the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, who wasn't a fan of Deep Space Nine? And if you weren't, don't say anything. I don't need to hear from you. No, just kidding.
Yes,
well, that's not the only tie to Star Trek. Because as you can see on the screen, Alice Krige is his mother, and she of course played the Borg Queen.
Yep. Yeah, it's
agreed.
Death Row has a very incredible valid point in here.
That was definitely better than the special effects in The Flash.
Oh, heck yes.
Or Black Panther.
But better than the Meg 2 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that
I'd put them on par.
Again, 2002.
This dragon looks very much alive.
Yeah, it's a 21-year-old movie, so.
Yeah, well, I had fun with it. Totally enjoyed it. Loved the look. There's one last thing I want to say about Alexander Siddig. Not only is he one of the best characters, in my opinion, one of the best Star Trek shows, but you guys do know who his uncle is.
Malcolm McDowell.
That's right.
And they look very much alike. There's some shots in this movie of Alexander that you can say, damn, he looks like his uncle.
He looks like his uncle. But Reign of Fire is just a very original concept, a really good cast, which again, it's always a plus.
Yeah.
I think that the pitch for this must have been, let's do Mad Max with dragons.
Yeah.
That's a very clever way to put it. I have never thought about it.
You know, like a lot of things, you know, you have the original idea and screenplay from Kevin Petka and Greg Chabot, and I think they wrote it in '96 and sold it, and then the screenplay was revised in 2000. So I would love to read the original script for this and see what some of the differences are.
Yeah, so do I.
But again, this is again fine stuff. Good, solid story. In many ways, you could say this is like one long Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best way, you know. But I also like the fact that this film was actually made in Ireland. Nice scenery here. Definitely, you can see in certain respects why in later years Ireland was probably the main place they used for a lot of scenes for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have a Game of Thrones connections in this movie.
Yep.
One of the surviving kids in the castle, in the main castle, is King Joffrey.
Yep.
And
wow.
Oh man, we're approaching the point in which. Okay, this is my funny story with this movie. When I saw the trailer, I was so excited, man, because it was that scene that, in question of seconds of this point, I knew, oh fuck, that scene is not here. They betrayed me, and it was the scene with the Apaches fighting dragons.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. So I was waiting for, because they put that on the trailer twice, and I was waiting for seeing the big Uber fight, and it happened off screen.
Yeah.
And I was so mad about it that I hated the rest of the movie. I couldn't enjoy it, and I hate the movie for years. Then I don't know what makes me want to watch the movie again, and I say, "Damn, this is a very good movie. I love it."
Yeah, I tell you, from my standpoint, if there's anything about this movie that I do dislike, is it does feel like it's edited down within an inch of its life. It does feel like there's another 20 or 30 minutes floating around somewhere that maybe will fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
you know what? It kind of sort of has that, but it's not as bad off as, say, 13th Warrior, where you're missing almost an hour's worth of footage out of that film.
And in retrospective, they may have hacked many pieces of this movie, but the result is you have a movie that doesn't have dull moments.
No.
Well, you better not. If you're going to edit a film down that much, it better not have dull moments.
Yeah.
You know, it's, again, this is what a lot of more recent films and studios that have released those films don't understand. You know, especially the Kevin Tsujihara version of Warner Brothers. They didn't understand that, you know. In my opinion, Rob Bowman's one of the few directors whom, in my personal opinion, I think either James Gunn or Kevin Feige should call to at least get him to do something for them. You know, he is a serviceable director that is capable of doing amazing things if he had the right script.
Yeah. Well, that's saying something not coming out of Marvel these days, though.
That's true. I didn't even happy birthday to James Gunn.
Oh, is it his birthday?
Oh,
Pulling for you, buddy. Pulling for you.
you better
I'm
deliver.
hoping you can. Well, that's what David Zaslav has for him. That's his message. Remember, 2 years. So if Zaslav doesn't give any time off or any compensation in a way for the strike, he has 2 years to deliver. And that is not very much time.
Basically, he's going to have just enough time to do Superman, and that's it.
Well, I think that was the plan. I think for Zaslav's part, I think the plan was let's see what he can do with Superman.
Now, I gotta say something. It's not a slide about to this movie, but this is so far that I have seen the grayest movie in color ever.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect palette. Well, it's because everything's burnt. Everything's ash.
Everything's covered in cinder. Yeah.
So they used a lot of gray color.
Oh, this scene, man!
Star
This
Wars
scene
scene,
is awesome. The reaction of the kids.
Empire.
Yeah,
Empire.
the reaction of the kids when they are delivering the plot twist and their faces and the kids are oh my god, I love this.
Yeah, but Gerard Butler is one of these people, one of these actors who I've always enjoyed. He very rarely, I think, gives a bad performance. Of course, here he is, the ambassador to Ireland, because that's how I think of him.
He looks so young in this movie too.
Well, it's 2002.
They were all
so
young.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I mean, you got to remember, this is only 2 years after his big break with Dracula 2000.
Yeah.
It's
Look, there's Joffrey.
yeah.
Oh, let me see if I can.
This is his second film. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is his second movie with Christian Bale.
Yeah, he was in Batman Begins.
Well,
Yep.
there you have it. Second from the left.
Yep.
Well, I think it's his first movie with. Oh, we have a visitor.
You should say we
Uh-oh.
have a very special guest, is what you're supposed to say.
And an extra special guest.
Extra
Yeah.
special.
Extra. Oh, it's an honor to have you, my friend.
Well, it's an honor to be here, my friend. I'm always honored to be on the show, so thank you for having me. I'm sorry I'm late.
Don't worry about it. Anytime you show up is a great time.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad you say that, and I'm glad that the $20 made its way to you before you. Just kidding, mate.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
How do you really feel about this movie? Is this a
How do I
favorite of
really feel
yours?
about Reign of Fire? I love it.
Reign of? Oh, good.
I love it. I've always loved this movie since it came out. Saw it in the cinema. I got a DVD copy of it. I don't have a Blu-ray, but and it was early Christian Bale. It wasn't the earliest, but fairly early. But yeah, I got a kick out of this movie straight away. It's just everything. It had everything in it I love. A bit of action, bit of fantasy. Some a very buff Matthew McConaughey. I mean, who knew at that point how buff he was? This is the movie when I mentioned it that Mrs. Rockfan goes, "Oh, that's the one that Matthew McConaughey comes in topless in it?" Yeah, he's all with the beard and So it was lovely. It's good. It's almost got a kind of old-fashioned British fantasy movie feel about it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
Oops.
I think Christian Bale also appears topless in the film, but he not for that long.
no, I don't think he's playing the kind of weedier part in the sense he's like the everyman, whereas McConaughey's the was he a Marine or Air Force or whatever the hell he is? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this film came out the year before Warner Brothers was going to release their Justice League movie. They were definitely going to make a Justice League film, and this is again way before Batman Begins. But they had a really good cast. They had a place to film in Australia. They were building sets. They had costumes, and then it all just fell apart.
Right.
Look, I already adjusted it.
Sorry, Martin.
Yeah.
So a bad joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
So also it has Christian Bale. It's also got Gerard Butler in it, of course. So as a Scotsman, I have to approve.
That's it. I messed up earlier. I called him an Irishman, so I should definitely.
Now you see, if he said less diddly potatoes, that would mean he was Irish. He doesn't say that at any point.
So I should give you back the 20. So here you go.
And I've actually been to Bamborough Castle in Northumberland where this was set. I mean, I've been to Bamborough Castle a couple of times. So it's got a very grainy British post-apocalyptic feel. Very dark, very muddy. Lots of mud, which is typical of British life.
Now, before we delve into more present things, I want to address our good friend Joe's atmosphere. He said on Twitter that this is the movie that proves that McConaughey could have been a very good Captain America, and I tend to agree. I don't know about you.
I think McConaughey could be anything he wanted to be. I think McConaughey could have. I think he could have. Seriously, I think he could have been anything. You get in that kind of shape, he could have even been Batman. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about guys like Henry Cavill now and a couple of guys like that, but McConaughey had his moment here where he could have taken this and parlayed it into a major action star career.
Yeah.
From those romantic comedy type things he used to do. And he's done a lot of drama too, to be fair. But at this point, when I saw this, I thought, well, this guy he could play major league action roles.
This is an interest casting there. Spartan Flash Entry said he has his role for Sabretooth.
Keep in mind, when this movie came out, the same year as The Two Towers.
Yeah.
And so it's right in the middle of the whole Tolkien cycle. And we were always, he's a dwarf. He could have played a dwarf from Tolkien.
But so I guess that stole a little bit of thunder from it being in that cycle, because I don't recall a lot of people kind of raving about it even at the time. I went to see it and I loved it. But I guess the general public's reaction was a bit of a,
Yeah, well, it only made $82 million on a $60 million budget, so.
Yeah, so it didn't really break even technically then. In fact, it lost out on the only Saturn Award it was nominated for. It
lost to the Two
Towers. Yeah.
Well,
it's fantasy film, and it is.
It's the Two Towers, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you're going to lose to the best.
Yeah.
Good point.
They should have just not entered anything else other than the Two Towers, which is one of the greatest movies in history. Yeah.
They should have just called up Peter Jackson. It's like, where should we just drop all the awards off? I mean,
Yeah.
again, that's how I would fix DC and Marvel. I would just, if I was James Gunn, I would just say screw it and call up all my director buddies and say, what do you want to do? What can we make a deal for? What can I bring you into? What character do you want to do that is not a character that we've seen or has had their own movie within the last 10 to 15 years? No Superman, no Batman, no Wonder Woman, Aquaman, no Flash. They're off the table, but you can do anything else.
I want to
Take
see
any character.
Guillermo. I want to see Guillermo del Toro do Etrigan.
Oh, the demon. Oh, my God. Okay, take all my money. All of it. Take it all. You know, and you know who I'd like to see to play his human half is Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
I think
Jason
Gerard
Blood.
Butler could do it. As Jason Blood. He would be amazing. See, when you say stuff like that.
It's interesting, though, that the tunneling London underground workers that uncovered the dragons just over in the next tunnel were the abominable snowmen, and the one just beyond that was Quatermass. So these guys had their hands full in these tunnels.
Yeah, they did. I'm glad you said Quatermass, because that to me,
Quater, but I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it could be Quatermass. Quatermass.
We say quarter over here. It's just, I gotta say, if there is one particular property that has potential and has gone untouched, it's that. Because look, I'm gonna say it. We all know how I feel about Alex Kurtzman.
You love him deeply and appreciate everything he ever does.
I'd love him to just stop mucking about with Star Trek.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and take a vacation.
You should send him a telegram that says, "Dear Alex Kurtzman, stop." And that's all the telegram should say.
Just stop. But that's what his show Fringe is. It's Quatermass. That's all it is. It's Quatermass.
Okay, I was wrong. Hey! Stop it. Stop it.
It is.
Sorry.
I guess I mean, given that a lot of it was filmed in Ireland, I guess you could be forgiving for thinking Gerard Butler was Irish. I don't know. Maybe he played an Irishman. I can't remember. Bad cast.
I got it wrong, because I really do like Gerard Butler. He is a fantastic actor, and he should be in a lot more stuff than he's normally cast in.
He's slipped into B-movie action stuff, really, hasn't he? Yeah.
I think he could I think he can make his way back up to A status if he's just given the right stuff. Look, if it were up to me, I would definitely put him in a major film franchise. Well, then again, if it were up to me, I would just go ahead and strip out a lot of the money, a lot of the useless stuff, and tell the Bond people to, here's $125 million. Let's make an old-fashioned Bond movie, and your villain will be played by Gerard Butler.
Yes.
So cast Bond accordingly.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Absolutely, because I think he's too old to be Bond himself now.
Yeah.
He's probably 10 years on from where he could be, although that didn't stop Roger Moore. Didn't stop Roger, but I think Gerard's probably too old for the Bond role. But yeah, villain. Put him in as a really strong Bond villain.
And remember, Gerard Butler was in Tomorrow Never Dies.
That's right. Well caught.
Oh,
I still think he could be.
Or was that Robert Carlyle?
Cool.
No, that was Gerard.
You know Butler. What he was? It was Robert Carlyle.
Was Butler in it?
Yeah, he's in it. He was his leading seaman on the HMS
Oh,
Devonshire.
That's true. He's in it for I remember I pointed that out when we did a Bond stream, you and I once. That Gerard Butler's on just that much of it, yes.
Well, then he can be cast as the villain. He wasn't in it long enough
Well,
to.
he could have been cast as the guy who survived that scene and wanted to take revenge against the world, and 20 years later has built a global multinational conglomerate with space weapons and all sorts of shit.
Ariel
I
Pally,
would
I
love
like
to
the way
see
you
this.
think.
Look what that Ariel is proposing, and I'm all
Of
all
course,
for
it's
it.
obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been in a Bond too. Never say
Yeah.
never again.
Yeah.
It's called Johnny English.
Yeah.
He's already played
Yeah.
Bond.
He did do a bit
Yeah,
of
but
Bond.
I want to see it seriously.
Well, if we're going to go through and do all of this, then let's just go ahead, call up Pierce Brosnan, and just go ahead and make the John Gardner Bond films,
Mhm. Why
and
not?
do that.
You
That
see, you
sounds
could
like
have
a plan.
Bond, but you could have a couple of younger people doing the kick-ass stuff. If it's Pierce as Bond, he could be just more of the elder statesman. He can still do stuff, but he doesn't have to do all of it.
But that's the beauty of the John Gardner books.
Mm.
It's made about an older Bond. So,
And I
mean,
liked-
it's
Yeah, the Keith, the one good thing about the last Bond movie was it Anna de Armas or
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
she with this 10 minutes she's in the film, best 10
Stole
minutes of the film. Yeah,
Hmm.
she was
I-
kick ass. She was
she stole
great.
that movie.
She
Go ahead
stole
and
it,
say
yeah.
it, Brian.
She
She
stole it.
stole that movie.
Yeah. So imagine having Pierce Brosnan as you say, John Gardner era Bond, with her as one of his junior agents, if you want to call it that. That would be
Oh,
kick-ass.
you know what?
Oh.
I would even have her as Felix Leiter's daughter to make it more interesting, because then he couldn't sleep with her. See, that's the
Yeah.
thing about the older Bond books.
Mm.
Now that he's older, he's thought out a lot of things. And
Yeah.
there's a book, there's a story where he has to team up with her, and she's flirting with him, and he is fighting it off. He's just fighting, because it's his one of his close friend's daughters. Come on, I mean, he does have, he's
Does he
not a
have
complete slave.
Has he got morals? He's got some morals.
There's not so much morals, but it's like he does at
Bond.
least respect Feeler.
Has he got
Felix,
boundaries? He's got boundaries.
There are boundaries,
Yeah, that's true. It's Felix's daughter. He wouldn't do anything there. Now you see, when you see McConaughey like this, the first thing that springs to my mind is something like a Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a Viking warlord. Yeah.
He very much
It's like
portrayed it
Superboy.
like that.
But I'm sorry, when he's coming off the tower with that axe at the dragon,
Yeah.
he's a dwarf. There's no he's a fantasy dwarf. That's all there
compared
is
to
to
the
it.
dragon.
I'm not talking about his height, I'm talking about his attitude.
Oh man, this whole scene, the scene previous when the column is moving toward the castle, the music is awesome, because you have the military teams, you have the tension themes, but you have that sense of uneasement that you don't know, is this a good thing, is this a bad thing? So and the movie, the music for the scene after this one, I love that music. And there's some points in this music, I think is the Van Sant theme, that is very, very much like the theme of Batman Begins.
Yeah, there's I see what you're saying there, but do you want to know some real spooky trivia? And I didn't know this until I just looked it up. Edward Shearmur, who did the music, the film he did the music for immediately after this, Johnny English.
that is a crazy jump.
Who knew? I mean, come on.
And that is a callback, folks.
John, here's your answer.
Just
He's
wrap
a
the show up
tall
now.
dwarf.
We're done.
Yep.
I will say this though, Christian Bale in this film Matthew McConaughey is better. He's more of the action guy in this movie, but Christian Bale would have also made a nice Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he ended up doing Terminator. I think that was a waste. He should have done
It
Mad
was.
Max. That would have been that would have been a much better film for him, and I think he would have gotten along at least a little bit better with Mr. Kennedy. You know,
Just like all these Terminators, though, they've all been a complete wasted opportunity. I mean, if they imagine if they'd made that, it was Genesis, wasn't it, that one? If
Yeah.
they had that one fully set with a full-scale war against the machines, with Christian Bale leading that, instead of all the mucking about with trying to fit the time travel in, building a new half Terminator, whatever Sam Worthington, just make it the war. That's all it needed to be. But they wasted that, squandered the fact that they got Christian Bale in it, in my opinion. But,
oh, why did I not see this before? Why did I not see this before?
but
Oh,
this-
my weird brain. Oh, my weird brain. You know what? With these two here in this scene, I think I just figured out what movie would be perfect for them to re-team on. Johnny
Shoot,
Quest.
Sorry, missed that.
Huh.
Johnny Quest.
Oh,
Please
right.
elaborate.
So he's going to be Race Bannon?
Yeah.
Yeah, having Matthew McConaughey as Race Bannon, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm a firm believer that Matthew McConaughey can play anything he wants, but
True.
and he's
That is
a
true.
method actor. In fact, when filming this, there's a story that Alexander Siddig relates that the AD came into the trailer while they were doing makeup and says, "All right, well, Mr. McConaughey is going to be here in 15 minutes, and we have a directive. No one is to speak to him directly as Matthew or Mr. McConaughey. They're only to refer to him as Van Zandt."
Okay.
The method.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because everyone likes to get into the role when they're playing a fictional fantasy dragon slayer.
Yeah.
Try acting, dear boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he has shown his range in many movies, but I think he has missed a trick as an action guy. He could have really been huge.
You know,
Well, little, according to Steve. He could have been little. But
Hi,
after
Six.
something like Hello Six, after something like Sahara, I think Matthew McConaughey would be the perfect Race Bannon
it was Gerard.
in a live action
Please.
Johnny Quest.
Mhm.
Please don't
And-
remind me of Sahara. They completely dropped the ball.
I know.
I agree. I agree.
As a Clive Cussler fan, I was so upset at that movie because I went and saw it. I'm like, yeah, finally another because they
Big
did
budget,
Race the
too.
Titanic. They did Race the Titanic years ago,
Uh-huh.
and so it's like finally we're going to get a dirt movie, and nope,
No, I mean,
We
a
get-
big
we
budget
get
too. It wasn't like it was a cheap movie.
no, it was
Yeah.
they that's why I thought it was going to be great, and I'm like sitting there in the theater watching it, going,
You know, I think we should do a stream about Raise the Titanic sometime because that movie has got so much production shit on it to talk about. It's incredible. That's the movie that Lou Grade said it would be cheaper to have drained the Atlantic
Yeah.
because they were spending so much money.
Well, I was, a couple of weeks back, I was with my youngest brother, and we were talking about, since Hollywood loves to remake things, what actors would you want to be in a new version of the Towering Inferno? And I remember Gerard Butler's name came up. And
I could see
I
that.
would put him in it.
Well, wait a minute. What about this pairing right here? I mean, look at them on the screen
Yeah.
together. One could be the new, like McConaughey could do the Paul Newman role, and
Mhm.
Butler could do the Steve McQueen role.
There you go.
Yeah, they
There.
look great together on screen there.
Yes.
who's Christian Bale going to be?
Well, he could be the Richard Chamberlain role.
I can see
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, why not? He could play that. The
I mean, you can make
corrupt,
adjustments
crooked,
to the
weak,
characters.
the weak, crooked, corrupt architect.
Yeah.
Well, Six, it's like this. It's my fault. Okay. I know I kind of wander a bit, but
What's a show
It's
note?
fine.
What is a show note? Yeah.
Notes? What?
Who needs notes?
I do write a show plan every time I do a live show, but is that the same
Yeah.
thing?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Right, because I have to do that because I won't remember all this shit otherwise. In a 2-hour show.
I mean, I got stuff about Rain of Fire, but you know what? I like going off the top of my head sometimes, especially when I'm hanging out with you fellas. You know,
Of
it's
course.
fun.
To answer Ariel Ballet's question, will they remake the original Die Hard? Over My Dead Body. And,
They'll remake it
I am not
when
kidding.
Bruce finally passes. They'll remake it.
I will say this: I know that there are a lot of you who really enjoy that film, but let me tell you, or at least in this case, let me ask you: have any of you read the book that it's based on?
No.
Yes.
Okay, I think if you're going to do it, do the book.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
usually
just-
the answer for everything.
And it's just like, you know, like I think they should go ahead and do a version of The Keep that's closer to the book.
Oh yeah,
You know,
The Michael
that
Mann
would be,
Keep movie.
yeah, the
Yeah,
book.
that Keep. Okay. Yeah.
I will say this: if they had made it like that, they never would have had to make Highlander.
That's blasphemy.
I know. I'm a big
Stop
Highlander
it.
fan, but
Stop.
they okay, I will.
I love that one and only Highlander movie that was ever made.
just like the movie says, there can only be one.
There can only be one. Yeah.
You know, people keep telling me there's a Highlander 2, and I'm just saying Mandela effect, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It never happened, mate. It never happened. Never happened. Yes. That's it. You nailed it. Mandela effect. Yeah. All he had
Look,
races.
I'm still.
Highlander
I believe in Chad Stahelski. He's not let me down yet. If he wants to go ahead and do a Highlander film, I'm here for it. You know, just tell me who you're going to cast as Kurgan. You better make your Kurgan casting good. That's all I ask.
Interesting,
Cast
yeah.
somebody. You who would you cast as Kurgan?
Oh, jeez.
Or
It
do
might
you
be-
want? Okay.
Sorry, Martin.
No. I cut you off.
No,
Go,
no.
go.
You go first.
I would go with Henry Cavill.
As
He should
Highlander
be the
or
Kurgan.
Kurgan? He should be the Kurgan. Okay.
He should be the Kurgan.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Witcher, I might have said nah, but now when you see him in The Witcher, when they allowed him to be The Witcher, that kind of leans towards that casting. Yeah, he could do it
Yeah.
then. He can
Since
dirty
you put
up
it that
and rough
way,
up.
I could. Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
Because the talk is about him being the Highlander, being Connor McLeod.
Yeah, but the Highlander should be a slim guy.
Not necessarily. And
Yeah,
could-
it's again the analogy, the Porsche versus the tank.
Hmm.
well, I think it's more David versus Goliath
Yeah,
when you deal with the
I
fight
was
between him and Kurgan.
I was going with James
Skill
Cameron.
versus strength or power. Yeah, it's skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Going
just
back
think
to-
that-
My approach to the
Yeah.
Kurgan would have been different. I would have made something like using his look like an advantage, and he should have charisma, and use that to advance in life, having accumulating power and money
Hmm.
instead of just brute force. I would have combined brute force with intellect.
That's an interesting point because the Kurgan has had to navigate the same timelines as Connor McLeod and the others. So he wouldn't be able to do that just by brute force forever. He would have to integrate into society to a certain extent. So I think you've got a good point there that his social skills should be more than just cutting people's heads off every time he stepped out in public.
I agree with that up to a point, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
If you're going to make a story like this where they're all immortals, I'm not saying Kurgan has to be done, but you can't give him the intellect card because now you are completely weighing everything towards the Kurgan. And your hero doesn't have any other cards to play. You know, the thing about Connor McLeod is he has his humanity. And as someone that has lived a long time, you see someone that actually feels the years. He's not really enjoying himself as one would think with immortality. He's suffered too much. He's lost too much. He's made a lot of friends. That scene with all the trophies in the room, some people looking at that scene would think that that's somebody that, you know, you've lived this life and you've collected all these things. It's really meant to be kind of sad because it's also the people that are connected that he met for all of the objects. He's had to say goodbye a lot.
Yeah, and they did portray that in the movie. They did portray some of that, yeah.
And so if you're going to do that, you need to give your hero something else other than just feelings. You know, you can't win with just feelings. You've got to have a little bit of intellect. And Kurgan, I'm not saying you have to make him a mindless monster, but yeah, you can survive with brute force if you rent yourself out as the guy you want to hire to do certain things. And if you keep it to where you're out of the spotlight a lot and you work for... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Keith, I'd like to see a possible Kurgan that had the psychotic charm of a Brian Cox in Manhunter.
Yes. Ooh.
Allied with brute physical strength. So he's a veneer of charm which he uses to navigate, but he's still a psychotic, power-hungry killer. But he has a veneer of charm and urbanity which he can turn on, an intellect. But he's still, when I think of it, I'd like to see something like a Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter, who just had the veneer of charm.
Let me interject this with these comments from Ariel Ballet. Here's the question: how are they getting fuel for their stuff in this movie? Yes.
Ariel, stop trying to inject realism into a fantasy movie.
So
I was going to tell. There's fucking dragons in this.
Post-apocalyptic movies always have this problem. Only Mad Max ever addresses it. But I would imagine, though, when it comes to the aviation fuel, you got to remember in Britain as well as in the States, there's Air Force bases everywhere.
Yeah, but they have been reduced to ashes.
No, well, maybe not necessarily. So the underground storage tanks for aviation fuel may well be intact.
You have this thing that the fuel when it has a shelf life.
Yeah, it does.
So that fuel, this all is happening 20 years after the disaster, but. Curiously enough, this is not what bothers me in this movie. What bothers me is there was only the male dragon. Where the fuck did the other dragons came from?
Okay, let me do it. Let me say my line. Life will find a way. Thank you very much.
Martine, to answer your question, they were always here. It's just when the male was awoken, the females woke up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like my answer better.
Because they mentioned the fact that at first there was one, then there was millions.
Yeah, the females are not here in muddy Bambara. They're down in Italy shopping right now.
Eating the poo boy.
Yeah, they're enjoying the Italian coast and the Gucci and Naples and the fashions. They're not going to hang out in the mud with the males.
Yeah. I was going to say if I was going to put realism into this movie, I would have complained the fact that they were only at 5,000 feet. They would have hit the ground well before that scene was even over.
Well, yeah. And how did you watch that sequence, and it's pretty well done. I love it. It's probably my favorite part of the movie until the end. But how have they survived this long with these tactics? You would think they'd lose a dozen guys every time they do this.
I wondered about that. That's a good point, mate. Yeah, the attrition rate seems to be pretty high.
Well, they
Yeah.
never told you how many Bula men were eaten
Yeah,
in
they
the
said
8 years they
they
have
said
doing
archangels have like a lifespan of 17 seconds once they leave the helicopter. So
Yeah, no kidding.
volunteers, we need volunteers.
yeah, it's a suicide mission. But I mean, think about it. If your society and your very existence is dependent on wiping these things out, you would get people that would be willing to pay the ultimate cost.
I guess so.
this. Oh, this scene, man! I
Wouldn't realize
fucking
it.
love his monologue here.
Yeah.
Mm. You do realize that this is a very accurate reflection of modern British life. It's not post-apocalyptic. Everyone looks as dirty as that and miserable and dark.
Oh my god! Apologies to our British audience.
Yeah.
Hey, I can say this shit. I'm from there.
And Ariel, I don't want realism in my fantasy movie. I'm just pointing it out that if I did, that would be one of the things I would complain about.
You know,
Man.
given the fact that we've had all this time off, I would really just like to send some thanks out to George R.R. Martin, who I know for a fact is sitting there finishing all those books
He
that
better
he's been
be.
promising to finish all these years. I know he's been hard at work,
No,
His
he
head
won't
is
finish
dedicating
jack shit.
himself.
His
He
head's-
won't finish jack shit. His work, his art, his performance is to troll the whole world with a fucking series of books that he planned not to end. That
But-
is performance.
But Martin, he said he'd do it. Are you saying you don't trust him?
No, I trust him as far as I can throw him, and I can
Well-
throw him very far away from me.
Well, he can't write any more stuff for movies right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do any producing of movies right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can't. There's not a bunch of parties for him to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing left for him to do is write the freaking book.
You know,
An
for a
aerial
fact,
ballet?
though,
Yes.
you
Oh,
You
go
know
ahead.
for a fact that if he doesn't want to do it, and he looks like he just doesn't want to do it, he will use the writer's strike as an excuse. Well, I don't think I should do any writing in solidarity. Not even books. I'm not even going to write an envelope, an address on an envelope. I'm doing nothing. Yeah. So,
If you're not going to
Thank
finish it,
you.
George, get somebody else to write it.
built-in excuse.
You know, Ariel Mallet, I will say this. There is a distinct possibility that he could actually have a different ending than what we got, because when he gave the producers the outline, because that's really, he did give them stuff. He gave them an outline. And I personally believe that he used the television show, especially seasons 6, 7, and 8, as kind of like a testing for how the rest of the story would go. It's completely up to him to turn around and just change it. You know? So, and then he can always say, well, those guys messed it up. This wasn't the original plan. He's got a built-in excuse and a way out of it. So even if you're someone that enjoyed the show, he's got an explanation for you. So
Yeah.
I just I feel everybody's pain on that one. You know, I've been learning a lot about Game of Thrones and the history of Westeros and all that stuff. But that's for another show, because we're still talking about Reign of Fire and,
Yep.
and Matthew McConaughey and just acting his off in this film.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I think it's great.
All
The
that-
whole cast are great. They really put a lot into it. I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
just found it to be extremely well crafted. Not a lot of fat in it. I love movies that don't just pad shit out. You know, convincing performances. The sets are brilliant.
Yeah.
Sets are fantastic. It really does give that. It's kind of a combination of post-apocalyptic, but also certain kind of British fantasy things like Excalibur and whatever. There's just a little bit of a feel of those two. That John Boorman type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. John Boorman could have, in another world, directed this. I think it would have been quite as snappy, but it the lighting. I mean, you look at the lighting in these scenes; it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the guns, Matthew's guns.
No, what I like more of his portrayal of Van Sant is Van Sant doesn't yell, doesn't shout, doesn't grunt. He only growls. For everything that he's doing, there is always a. That's all.
Yeah, it's extremely well. These two guys do a great job. The two leads.
He acts like an animal.
And he does bring Christian Bale's character a little bit more up into the action side of it, because he's actually started out as almost an ordinary bloke leading a bunch of desperate refugees, but he toughens up a bit as things go on.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe in action. He believes in waiting passiveness.
He's trying to hide and wait it out. Yeah, they're trying to wait it out. You can count.
At least till 4.
At least till 4. Yeah, the casting is great. I mean, there's some great, like Alice Krieg and some of the other supporting roles.
Isabella Scorpino.
Yeah, she's fantastic in it.
She's nice to look at. She's usually on the
she
Oh, yeah. Alexander Siddig has a part in it too. I think he's the kid. Isn't he the kid? Yeah. Who's done a lot of stuff recently, of course.
Well, he's that's another Game of Thrones connection.
Yeah.
But he's the radio operator.
Oh, is that what the part he plays?
Yeah.
He's AJ.
He's
I
AJ.
didn't remember the character's name, but
no, I couldn't remember it either. No.
I don't know. Whenever I see him, I say, "That's Bashir." That's it. He would be here for me till the end of time.
You know who does have a role in it is the guy that does the voice of the Witcher in the games, Doug Cockle.
Yeah.
He's one of the
really.
Goosh. I don't know which one of the.
Yeah, Goosh. Yes.
I can never remember which one's which, but he's Goosh. He's just the voice of the Witcher. So,
Ariel, I will believe that.
That's right, yeah. But look at this, isn't it? So, I mean, just puts so much into it. I mean, it turns a film that could be just seen as a fairly cheesy, second-tier fantasy thing. That kind of performance makes it stand out, makes it something else.
Well,
quality actors.
That's the reason why I think that his role, Matthew McConaughey's role in The Gentleman, makes him the perfect actor to be Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy. I think he'd be the perfect Lex Luthor.
I hadn't thought of that until you mentioned it, but yeah. I love The Gentleman. That's a fantastic guy, Richie, that one. Hey, we never thought Charlie Hunnam. There's a lot of stuff Charlie Hunnam could do if he was given the right role. He could be Highlander. He could be a Connor McLeod. Charlie Hunnam. He's from Newcastle.
Put that right in my brain.
He's from Newcastle, so he's just below Scotland, so he could do it.
I keep forgetting that he's British, like a lot of actors are.
He's from Newcastle. He's a Geordie. Why, I'm on.
Put that right
give
in
you
my brain.
the steam of me shite. That's the kind of way they talk.
See, you say that, and I got to watch that.
This part, they have no medical supplies, and he used the iodine like it was like if it were water. Dude, that's a crime.
But doesn't everybody have gallons of iodine sitting in their basement? Come on, I've got a wall full of it, man. Just in case of nuclear attack. case of nuclear attack.
All this testosterone. Yes, you got to have iodine.
All right.
Yeah, nuclear attack hits here. It's going to be. I don't have to worry about it. I'm
Indeed.
close enough to Whiteman Air Force Base where the B-2s are that we're a prime target.
What? No, really?
And it's just like they say in I don't know if you one of my favorite movies, The Day After. He's one of the guys wanting to get back to Sedalia, and it's like Sedalia's gone.
God, man.
Yeah. This is for you.
After this stream, Keith isn't going to have any money left after trying to get these
That's
actors
right.
to play these.
So
You're
we've
right.
got, so far, our ideal movie has got Christian Bale, Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, Pierce Brosnan, Charlie Hunnam.
Henry
So there's-
Cavill.
So there's 100 million gone already.
Yeah, at least. And we haven't shot anything.
Just get them in one. Just sit them in a room with some chairs, and that's the whole movie. That's it.
I mean, if I'm going to spend a lot of money making anything I want, then okay, we're going to make something that I want to make, and it's going to be totally surprising. Okay,
Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm just going to have all these actors be in a Chutes and Ladders movie.
I was just going to
There you
say that if you had your average Disney Plus television show budget, you could easily make that movie. 6 episodes. That's 6 Disney Plus episodes. 250 million easily. You could make that movie.
Easily.
Yeah.
What kind of movie I could make for 250 million or series even?
I could make 3 movies.
Yeah, at least.
And they'd still look great.
Well, we had this discussion a few weeks ago on Keith's Morning Coffee with Keith about what projects that Hollywood could do that we'd pitch if we could. And we already know what my first choice is. It's Honor Harrington.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's just finding the right actors to be Honor Harrington.
Well, that's why I maintain that Zendaya would be a good choice.
Zendaya is a good choice. She's a great actress.
She's young enough. She's young enough that she could play the character for several movies, which is what you want.
Ariel Ballard. You know what, Ariel? You're right. But if I'm going to make that film, I need to get more commitments from a lot more actors than what they had with movie 43. I am going to need commitments from pretty much everybody that starred in the movie this year. I need to get that level of commitment. My only thing is who you're going to have play all the main roles, but I have a darker sort of lean towards that movie. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Yeah.
But the lead character, Culpepper, has a bit of a break in that movie. I maintain that he loses his mind in the film. You can see it.
This part contradicts their theory because the egg is inside the dragon and it's already fertilized.
No, it's not.
The little dragon.
Yeah,
you can
but that
see the
doesn't
little
mean
dragon.
Well, that's true. Yeah, actually, you're right. That did screw up their.
Maybe they come pre-fertilized.
No, because what they think is the dragon passes by and fertilize already laid eggs, unless the dragon is getting really, really kinky and funky, and his.
I don't want to picture that. I don't want to picture that.
You can go on that. You can go on that journey alone, there, Martine. That's all you.
Yeah, when I think about the number of properties that could have been that I've always wanted to see made into movies, there's still. I'm thinking of science fiction novels that I love. There's so many, like the Forever War. The Forever War needs a proper big budget movie like that.
It does.
I've been gagging for that for years. I think the rights have been kicking around for a long time.
You know what, David Ayer? David
That
Ayer
one-
would be the perfect
Yeah,
director for the Forever War.
that's my. If I was to pick one thing that's never been made, it would be that.
Oh, is that the one with the tripods?
Forever War. Well, I don't know. The tripods, the aliens. I don't know if you ever really. Yeah, they're kind of bug-like. They call them bugs, don't they? In it, or is
Yeah,
that
the
Starship
the
Troopers?
tripods is War of the Worlds.
No.
Yeah.
There was another one that had tripods in it, though. I can't remember the name. It was like there was like a series of books when I was a kid.
Well,
I don't remember though.
Yeah, the Forever War was really well. They did make a sequel. He did write a second one, maybe even a third one. I can't remember, but I think you don't see the bugs as much until he's fighting them, and they're just bugs. It's like Starship Troopers. They're just kind of bugs. There was a British television show called The Tripods in the 70s.
Yeah,
British TV kids sci-fi show. Yeah,
the tripods. Yeah.
Tripods. But that would be my dream movie if it was to be made ever. I always wanted a movie made out of the Lensman series, but I guess Star Wars was made, just kind of took its thunder in a sense. So
Oh, you could you could do Lensman.
I'd love
You
to
could
do
do
Lensman.
Lensman would be an incredible Netflix event.
You could do like 12. Kick off with 12 episodes, but you could just do so much more if it was a success. Yeah, I'd love the Lensman stuff.
Oh,
Well, I forgot about Rendezvous with Ranma. That has three-legged aliens in it.
Yeah, and that's a movie that I think they're trying to make now. I mean, that's been false started a number of years, but I'd love to see a great movie version of that too. One that was faithful to the book and didn't fuck about with it.
that's a lost cause. Faithful to
Yeah, they would introduce some shit to it. You can guarantee it.
Well,
Yeah, Ariel Bally's the only one chatting. I don't know if
We've lost everybody.
I think we just lost. We've just driven everyone else away.
well, they're listening to what we're saying.
Are they though? How do we know that any of us are even real? I mean, you guys could be simulations. I don't know.
You know what? If I'm not real, I'm not happy, because that somebody's got to be able to dream up something a little bit better for me, at least more money.
Yeah, but that's why everybody thinks simulations are going to be glossy and glitzy and whatever. No, they're not. They're going to simulate real shit.
That's
It's going
right.
to be horrible. Like real life, it would be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, this is really well filmed stuff. I mean, the practical effects and the sets. I love this. And it wasn't like it was. I mean, it was a big enough budget. It just wasn't huge. Like today, it was 60 million. I guess it's equivalent of maybe 100 million. 120 million. Still pretty big budget, but I get that every dollar of it shows. I think on the screen, it's nothing's wasted. Yeah.
Good cast, well directed, great locations.
A lot of exciting
It's good.
action. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
the
the only
chance to
thing is
see
it got
this
overshadowed.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and you get to see the smoking ruin of London, which is always fun.
Yeah. Seeing the it's never a fun movie until the world's destroyed.
That's right. I like my major cities destroyed in movies. I like post-apocalyptic movies. I always have. Wouldn't want to live in one, but I like watching.
No.
There we go. Martin's still with us in the chat. He's doing double duty.
You know, I will say this again. This is probably one of the best casts outside of the cast they had for Lord of the Rings. I mean, as an individual one-shot film, I don't think you could have gotten any better with a cast. I just
I don't watch it ever, Keith, and think, oh, you know, that guy could have been somebody else, or whatever. Yeah, maybe could have been some of the smaller roles, could have been more famous people. Who cares? It's got star power at the top already. The casting is I don't look at it ever and go, any one of these people's out of place.
Yeah.
And the director, I mean, it's not like he had a lot of movies under his belt. He's mainly a TV guy. Rob Bowman, he's mainly television. So I think he did a great job on this, I think.
Yeah, there's Keith back.
Wow. Technology.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't make me start. Don't even get me started with that. I have like 3 days of nightmare with one PCA here. Ah,
Get the blanket, that'll stop the fire.
yes.
Get that blanket.
And
The only
yes,
person-
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Oh, Ariel Ballet says after the dragon bursts down the castle and he's standing there in the flames and spreading his wing, it's a majestic scene. Yes, I would. Well, you look at that. But the other one scene like, that can compare is when they are in London and they appears between the smallest one, and you can see the comparison, the size of that thing.
Which is really weird because in most species, a lot of species, the female is the larger.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to make some jokes, but I'll refrain. Okay.
Oh no! Now you have to do it.
Yeah.
No, let's not go there.
Oh, that dragon has a lot of work to do, man. So
Yeah.
he better be up to the task.
Well, that's what roids are for.
Yeah, well, when we get to London, I'm wondering, does the dragon remember Quint?
I'm wondering if that's the case. Yeah, I think that because they're not dumb animals. I mean, they're pretty smart. They were ruling the earth, what, 500 million years ago or something. So
Yeah, well, in this the lore for this, all the major extinction events were the dragons waking up, killing off all life, going back to sleep when they were starving.
Well, that would
Good
certainly
point.
explain some mass extinctions of the past then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's-
do that in the movie. They say that the dragons basically are the reason they have extinction cycles.
Some people
Yeah.
would say they serve a good purpose then, that the,
Yeah.
civilization rises, it becomes decadent, the dragons wipe it out, rinse and repeat, and allows a new civilization to rise.
So
Yeah,
call
I've
me,
seen
man.
maybe-
Next.
I've seen ABC's dinosaurs; they needed to be wiped out.
Yeah.
These dragons do serve that purpose. Snapping necks and cashing checks. That's what they do.
Crocodilians, yeah.
No, I don't see how.
Well, technically,
Yeah.
these are wyverns, not dragons.
Yes, they're white.
Well, don't get technical.
No,
Penny's still here. Good to see
I'll-
you, Penny. He's still
I
in the
tell
chat.
you, man, when these kind of creatures are involved, I get very technical, and it always bothers me that they call them dragons.
Hmm.
I'm a Dracophile.
Well, yeah, but that's what if this was to happen in real life, that's what they would call them as dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it's like
catch-all-
it's like calling Scylla Godzilla.
Yeah.
catch-all phrase. The one thing that
Yeah.
does,
And
does
here's Joffrey again.
Yep.
oh yeah, so it is the one thing about this stuff that does I find a little unrealistic, apart from the rest of it, is that this is the northeast of England supposedly in a miserable freaking winter, and those
it's not
kids are
raining.
dressed in robes.
Oh, is it winter though?
Well, does it look like summer? I don't know. It's hard to tell in the northeast of England, I know, but
Well, all the smoke and stuff that the dragons put up in the atmosphere. That
oh
could
right,
be,
yeah,
that
but
could be
even
the height of summer.
Yeah, it's
And
not the
remember,
war-
they're growing stuff. They're growing food, so it's
True.
got to be. And they said it's too early to harvest, so that tells me it is summer.
Yeah, it still doesn't look particularly warm, does it? Those kids are running around in robes.
Yeah,
They wouldn't be dressed like that. I don't care, post-apocalyptic or not. Well, they had to go out and make robes specially to wear them. Why didn't they just wear all the jeans and t-shirts and jerseys that are lying around in the unused department stores? You know,
yeah.
like that bit is like that's a pointless bit of costume. I think like they would wear ordinary. The adults are wearing ordinary clothes.
Yeah.
It's just me. I'm just like, why would they dress them like that?
Kids
Nobody's
wear
got.
them out faster.
We just ran out to Robes Are Us, did they? And picked up a few.
Well, if you notice, a lot of the kids, the PJs are, because a lot of them are wearing robes. Some of them are wearing night shirts, and then some of them are wearing PJs. And like the tops are extremely long. You can see the sleeves all flopping off of them. So my headcanon is that they hand those down. All the kids wear those,
Of course,
as they're growing up. And then once you outgrow it and become an adult, that gets put away and put away for another kid.
I can't recall, but how long is this after the first appearance of the dragons when they're reawakened?
20 years.
It's only 20 years. Okay, so Christian Bale and co were around when that happened. They were just a lot. They were like in their teens or kids.
They were kids, yeah.
Right.
Because remember, he's at the beginning of the movie. He goes to see his mom down in the subway tunnel or the tube tunnel.
Yeah,
where they're digging out for the new subway, and that's where they awaken. Yeah, that's where they awaken the dragon, and he's the first one to see it.
But those kids are the first post-apocalyptic generation, then.
Yeah,
you see. Yeah, they've never known the world as it was.
Right.
It's kind of the whole Mad Maximization of that. It's kind of got a lot in common with that.
And here comes the big boy.
They'd never seen big, buff, hunky American guys like Matthew McConaughey. Like Texans.
I don't know how to take that comment.
He would be as much of an alien to them as the dragons. I mean, that's like, what the hell is this? These kids would be like, what is he speaking?
Gerard Butler,
that accent.
There's only one thing worse than dragons. Americans,
yeah.
Yep.
He would remember movies, you see. He would remember movies and TV. The younger kids would be like, what is that guy speaking? With Matthew McConaughey with his Texan accent.
Yeah.
What the hell is that thing?
Yeah, they wouldn't know the
Yeah, it would be as frightening as the dragons, I think. Or threatening anyway. As you see at the beginning, they are threatened by them.
And they've never seen a tank.
No, or probably not a helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah, they just did seem to take it all rather in stride.
Aerial Ballet points out the obvious that a lot of the damage isn't the dragons; it was caused by humans fighting the dragons.
Yeah, because they use
like
wyverns. Yeah.
Well, it's like the Matrix in that sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's reminiscent of the opening scenes of Team America when they destroy Paris to save it.
Yeah.
Damn, I missed
That's what we do.
It's the consequences of war, regardless, or destruction, whether you're fighting back or you're just letting it happen to you. I must admit, there's a little part of me, much as it would be hell to live in, has always been curious that just what it would be like to be in this kind of situation. Let's say it was an alien invasion of Earth or wyverns, and to see just how we would react and to see that battle going on. Obviously, you'd probably die pretty quickly, but it would still be kind of fascinating, like, okay, all those years of movies and books, now I'm getting to see it live.
Yeah, and somebody watched Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
True.
Explosive Arrows.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, Rambo 2.
Yeah, Rambo 2. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rambo 2. And any video game featuring bows and arrows these days.
Yeah. Although technically those would be bolts because they're using crossbows, but
Technical, you and your technicalities.
Hey, technical's the best kind of right.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, it is.
Wow.
Well. Look at that. Well did.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They tried to say that this is the same shaft in which his mother died.
Well, the thing is that I think there's a few years from when he first arrives and the rest of the dragons wake up. Because there's like those you see like the newspaper articles, and there's the whole, he's got the Time magazine. I mean, they're still printing magazines.
Yeah.
So obviously when that came out, they hadn't spread all over the planet yet. And I think from looking at the picture that shows like Europe and England on fire, I'm thinking that they're saying that the dragons didn't make it to America until much later.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's a long way to fly.
Yeah, the fight should have last what, 3 to 5 years, I guess. Those are those miniatures?
It would be a combination.
Yeah. You can see it. Some of the compositing shots show their age in this.
Yeah. Expected, I guess. But it's compensated for an awful lot by the fact that the sets are so good, and the sets and the lighting is fantastic. I find.
Yeah.
I don't know who did. I don't know.
This is hilarious.
Yes.
It's water.
Yeah, I was wondering.
He's thinking it's like moonshine or something. And nope, it's water.
Yeah. That's a dire situation there. Oh, there are just 3 of us. Let's kill that lizard. Yeah. On second thought, Apocalypse is so bad. Isn't so bad.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Gives you an idea of the scale of the big guy.
Yeah. The wild eyes.
Wild eyes burning like fire. Watership Down. I haven't thought of that movie for years. You remember that movie?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of that for a long time. Quite the horrific movie when you watch it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not happy-go-lucky. That's for sure.
No fluffy bunnies.
No, you think they're going to be, it's going to be, it's a cute movie with fluffy bunnies. Oh, God, what is this?
How many children were scarred for life by watching that movie? I'll take the kids to Watership Down. It's a cartoon about bunnies. Oh.
Yeah.
And worst of all, it's got an Art Garfunkel song in it. That's the most frightening thing ever.
Oh, this is my favorite scene in the movie.
Fun fact.
Oh, look, you found someone scared by that movie.
Watership doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right out of your head.
Wow.
I have a fun piece of trivia about Art Garfunkel. Art Garfunkel has only had 2 solo hit singles in the United Kingdom. Both were number 1s.
Huh? Well, at least they were number 1s.
Yeah, only 2 that entered the charts. Both got to number 1. I Only Have Eyes for You and Bright Eyes.
It's a couple of songs about eyes. Wow.
Yes, I'm sensing that theme here. Yes. And I only have eyes for you is on a great Art Garfunkel album called Breakaway. I just want to give that album a plug because you might not think I would like an album like
And
that.
you
being
have
very,
there
There it
happens
is.
but I
to-
love it.
Yeah, tell me that's not a dwarf running off and about to jump into the dragon.
He
in a
looks like
D&D
one of
game.
the seven dwarves. Oh no, because they don't exist anymore, do they?
Yeah,
He has the power.
He has the power.
till he gets eaten.
Yeah, and
Well, better. I don't know.
See, that's when
think-
he gets the last laugh. The dragon eats him, and then just as he's being eaten, McConaughey says, "Fooled you! I'm actually the guy from Dallas Buyers Club, and you're sick now."
ouch.
Got you, dragon. Got you.
Wow.
At 5? Oh my god!
Oh my god. It's
Wow.
like Clockwork Orange. I think Clockwork Orange is less disturbing than Watership Down.
Oh.
But you sit down and watch this movie. Prop your eyes open at 5. Watch the bunnies. Watch the bunnies.
You're killing me, Ariel.
That's
That's
good
a
stuff.
story. That's as my brother and I like to say, that's therapy.
That's therapy.
We used to joke
Okay.
with our parents all the time. It's like they'd tell us something that they did when they were younger, and it's like, yeah, back for more therapy on that one.
Mm.
5. I cannot believe it.
Ooh.
Man, that scene, that dragon looks so real.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. Look, good design. Very good design.
The movement and everything.
Yeah.
I know it's.
And then you
uh,
have the latest Marvel movies.
No.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, we mentioned a few flaws in this, but for $60 million back in that day, it looks better than 99% of Disney output now.
This cost less money than Black Widow, and it's 10 times as good.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just, this costs less money than Shang-Chi, and it's 100 times the movie Shang-Chi will ever be.
Yeah.
Crap. Went looking for it and I
Shang-Chi.
couldn't find it, but I had a sound effect for the whole therapy thing.
Keep looking. It's at this point.
Thanks.
It's at that point that Christian Bale just realized he should have gone to the bathroom before he left for this fight.
Before the show, I'm gonna need a whole lot of serious therapy.
There,
There you go.
Beverly Hills Cop. Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I went through it. I
Uh.
downloaded a bunch more sound effects, but some of them I'm going to get rid of. But some of them I'm keeping, such as this.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You should be deploying these on our Monday show, mate.
Oh,
I
Sax,
haven't got
You-
time to
you-
get new ones.
Geary is not here today.
Yeah.
How was it put it on?
Well, he
Fight
can still
Club?
get his video. He can still get his video.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, allow me, if I may.
See, the first thing they do when they restore civilization is put up a cell tower and they get mobile phone
Okay.
contracts.
Give me a second, Kyle. This is from you, from Gary's heart.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Wow.
Nice. Nice ending, though.
Yeah. I still think the kid is too young to be the leader, but I guess Christian was desperately to get that responsibility off his shoulders.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, but if things start happening, you know they're going to look back to him to
Yeah.
take over leadership.
So, I mean, remind me, they've killed that big guy. There are others like that though. around the
Apparently,
world.
there was only one male for the entire world.
Oh, that was it. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if that was it or there was like a handful of others. So that was it. So they're now all going to start dying out.
Yeah,
They were
or
starving anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
they're
not gonna get
starving.
nagged?
So they just have to wait out the remainder.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a waiting game.
And then he goes off down the pub.
Yep.
Just, I'm going down the pub. You lot take care of it. I'm going down the pub. It is in the northeast.
Going down
It
to-
is set in the north of England. So
Go down to the Winchester and have a pint and wait for it all to blow over.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Good idea.
Wow.
Most British
Wow.
science fiction movies do revolve around the pub, or
Yeah.
or zombie movies or whatever. Frequently asked questions about time travel totally revolves around the pub. You watch that movie, love that movie. Anyway,
Look at it.
Wow.
you see, we've reminded you that you've repressed that memory and never spoken to your great granddad about it until now.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
That's therapy.
Oh my
Ouch.
God.
First of all, Ariel, wow, just yeah. Well, everyone, that was Reign of Fire.
Wow.
Director Rob Bowman. Wow.
Yeah,
It's a good movie.
it is.
I forgot I have this.
Oh, good.
Oh, good for you.
Nice
That's pretty
comeback.
much the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No, it is a fabulous movie. I mean, it's kind of overlooked. I think you don't hear people talk about it much. I know we've all mentioned it at various times in streams, but it's a movie. It's one of those movies again. If it can't come, not that I watch television like cable or network or any of that, but if I was to be in a hotel room and TV was on, and that movie came on, I'd watch it till the end.
Yeah.
One of those movies, you know.
Yep.
Probably every couple of years I'll dig out and go, "Oh, let's watch Reign of Fire." It's, you know, it's not like it's 2.5 hours long, you know. So
That's an hour and 40 something minutes.
yeah, it's snappy.
Yep. Well, you know, there was the issue of a sequel. Back in 2002, Christian Bale was asked in an interview, and he said that there it was asked was whether there was a possibility of a sequel, and Bell responded possibly. He told Scott Mouter, who plays his stepson in the film, that he's well positioned to take the sequel from him because of the way the movie ends. However, due to the film underperforming at the box office, no development on a sequel has ever been spoken of since. It'd be interesting to see what they come up with truly for any kind of sequel.
Yeah.
To me, it just deserves to be a standalone film.
Yeah, I mean, if they've beaten the big bad, what's the purpose of a sequel? They could have. Maybe there's a matriarch wyvern, and it could be they could do a Barbie kind of crossover and have it all pink, and you know, and his stepson is like a Ken figure.
Well,
Paint dragons for you. And
I
me.
would like
Reign of
to see,
Hagen. Reign of Hagen.
I'd like to see a movie that takes place at the beginning of all this, when the dragons first showed up, and
So I can have my freaking scene with Apaches fighting dragons.
yeah, so you can have your Apache fighting dragon scene. But yeah, either that or a series. I think it would be good either way. But I think it would be good to see the struggle that was going on that forced, you know, the survivors to basically live underground.
Well, one of the things you could do with that, John, is because you could set it in another part of the world as well. It doesn't have to be. It could be set anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Look at this. This is possible. It is possible that there are male dragons being hatched, and the Big Daddy, he just killed them.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a male. There has to be another male born somewhere sometime. If there's, I mean, they can't just all be females. Otherwise, I guess one of the females could mutate into a male.
Yeah. They're turning
yeah.
the freaking Wyverns gray.
The thing about the scenario of the actual fight against the dragons is it happened at the time they were awakened. You're kind of getting into War of the Worlds territory there, I think, a little bit. You know, it's a similar feel because that's what you see in War of the Worlds, albeit it's aliens.
Yeah.
Just seeing a similar scenario. So it's not like something we haven't. We've seen a lot of dragon shit recently because of Game of Thrones and stuff like that. So maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't grab people.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the dragons in Game of Thrones don't look much better than the dragons in this, and there's 10 years between the two.
Yeah. Oh, I do like the big guy in this. The big guy at the end is brilliant. Yeah. Very convincing.
Well, when this film came out, it took number 3 behind Road to Perdition and Men in Black 2. Road to Perdition, a very good adaptation of a comic.
Yep.
Technically a DC comic.
Early outing for Bond there, what's his name? Daniel Craig. Yeah. Early Daniel Craig outing, Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
In fact, that one also had, well, look, to be fair, that one had an equally incredible cast for Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
Lots of just incredible performances. And I think that one also got some Academy Award nomination for its actors, including that being the final, unfortunately, the final film for Paul Newman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who was nominated that year. But the cast of that was just stacked. Tom Hanks, Paul Newman, Jude Law, and
the younger Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Not that anybody knew who he was then. I didn't even know who he was, and I'm British.
Well, even more so. Tom Hanks' son being played by the man who is currently Superman in Superman and Lois.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's not bad being third in the box office to those two, albeit that's not third in the year. That's just third at the release date, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, it's a very, for a mid-budget fantasy action
Actually,
film, it's pretty
technically,
credible.
it's not his last movie.
Didn't he do a voice thing in Cars or something? Or
yeah, well, he was in Cars, but he also did the voice of a documentary called "The Meerkats."
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I sit corrected. Look,
Come on, Keith,
film,
get your act together.
I know.
Know
I'm
that?
slacking. I am slacking. This is a film that is a nice pairing with Edge of Tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It just goes well, and at least the look and colors of both films kind of match. I just think that both films to this point are really good films that could have easily have had sequels. They're still discussing one for Edge of Tomorrow, although as each year passes.
Yeah, I heard something on that today, actually, where Emily Blunt is been quoted as saying that the script for the sequel is finished.
Yeah, there's a version of it out there, but that Tom is kind of busy making Mission Impossible films.
Yeah,
so I think her tone was like, how much longer can he continue to do that? And so
Tom says he wants to go till he's 80. So
You know what? There's a lot of things that people want to do till they're 80.
You see, what would we consider if the sequel went ahead without Tom Cruise? Would we consider that to be okay?
Maybe. I mean, look, it depends on what the story is. Okay, I think as long as you have at least Emily Blunt, you can make it work.
That's what I'm wondering. Her as the lead, but with a couple of others added to make up for Tom Cruise, working with her. I don't know.
Well, I would just bring back J Company.
Yeah.
All the actors that were in J Company.
Oh yeah.
You know, they survived the war, so they're all veterans, and although their sacrifice wouldn't have been remembered, well, the only person that would have remembered what actually happened to end the war would have been Tom Cruise's character.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, everybody's sacrifice is forgotten other than him. He's the only one that knows what happened.
Yeah.
And who do you get to replace Bill Paxton?
Well, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nobody who can replace Bill Paxton.
The sequel is Tom Cruise trying to make Emily Blunt get in love with him, and he will be killing him again and again.
That's the thing. That's it. Well, he could have related to her that he remembers all of this and he knows what she did.
And who would have believed
she
that?
would not have told him. Well, he would have known.
Yeah, she knows that could happen. Yes.
Yeah, but on top of that, she told him about her life, including, I think, her name. So he wouldn't have known all of that unless she had told him.
Yeah.
I would cast Michael Biehn in Bill Paxton's part just for a bit of verisimilitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Just for a bit of us guys, like us people like us, we love that.
Yeah, but Michael Biehn will never be able to match this.
No, that's
it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That's great. Why'd you put her in charge? Oh, R.I.P. Bill. We miss you, Bill. We miss you.
Yeah, we do. Wow.
So I'd love to. I mean, there's a time I would have said I would love a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow because I love that movie dearly. But we know what happens these days; things get fucked up. I would still have high hopes for it if they made it. But
have you read the original novel?
No.
It's called All We Do Is Kill.
All you need is kill.
All you need
is kill. Yeah.
I think there's even a short run manga of it.
That
there was. I mean, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It was originally a light novel. The light novels are different.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see a sequel, but then I wouldn't want them to fuck it up either. So it's trepidatious.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, then we'll just have everybody star in something different. Let's see. How about?
Oh no, we could do with a prequel with the Battle of Verdun.
Yes, you could, but wait a minute. Well, but because we know that was a trick anyway, though. Wait a minute. Why doesn't the next Mission Impossible, the Part 2 of Dead Reckoning, turn into Edge of Tomorrow sequel? And that would be a surprise, wouldn't it? We go to see it, and he starts as Ethan Hunt, and then all of a sudden it turns into that. That would be it. I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Unorthodox, but yes.
I'd pay to watch that. That would be awesome. All of a sudden it becomes the Edge of Tomorrow sequel.
Well, that, or we could turn it into John Wick 5.
John Wick 5, yeah. The problem with,
have Keanu show up and get Matthew McConaughey in there. And
see, these are the crossovers I'd like to see. I mean, we're all bored to shit with Marvel shit and people popping up in each Marvel movie.
No,
I'd love to see crossovers like that. I want a Mission Impossible Edge of Tomorrow crossover.
We lost the opportunity of John Wick versus Jason Bourne.
Yeah, John Wick, Jason Bourne, Ethan Hunt crossover, that kind of thing. This is what these are the crossovers we want.
Of course, that would be big money. That's how you negotiate, because whereas you have your Mission Impossible films are made for a lot more money than John Wick movies.
You see, if they'd made Indy 5 properly, they could have had Tom Cruise his character in Edge of Tomorrow popping up. All of a sudden, he travels through time, and it is involved.
That's a better ending.
Yes,
That's a better ending than what they came up with originally.
And he lands in his armored suit on top of Phoebe Waller-Bridge and kills her within 2 minutes of her being in the movie. And then he assists Indy with whatever he's doing. That would have been good.
I'm ready for that. I'm give me
Just
that
spitballing
one.
here, spitballing.
I will.
You can see why I'm not a successful
Yeah.
screenwriter.
Well, completely off topic. George Romero's last script for the last zombie movie, Twilight of the Dead, is actually going ahead.
Oh, right. Okay.
Really? Who's
Yep.
directing?
I don't think they've got to that point yet. They've just it's finally moving into production.
I hope they get Tom
Who would you
Savini.
like to see? Oh. Well, who would you like to direct that?
Man, that would be hard to pick because I mean, this is George Romero's last vision of how the whole zombie series should end, the whole zombie saga. So that'd be hard. I don't know who I'd
know
trust
what?
with that.
There is one person I would.
We have this
suggestions.
Mel Brooks.
No,
I don't know.
There- I would. You know what? It's his last zombie film, so I would consider.
If you were to have asked me 20 years ago, I would have said Tobe Hooper, but I don't know if that would. Yeah.
You know what?
Whoever
I
you
would
pick,
either.
whoever you pick, better is not Zack Snyder because his zombie movies suck to no end.
I kind of
That's
liked
not
this
really
zombie movie.
Yeah.
No, I feel
It was
felt
fun.
betrayed.
You know
There was
what?
so much setup and none
know
of the
what?
payoff.
Don't pick an English-speaking director. Get a Korean or a Japanese director or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Get a
there
Korean.
you go.
Get a Korean director.
What about
Sam Raimi,
Boone? No, Boone. What's his name? Boone.
John Woo, you.
No, the guy that the
Boone
director
Chang-ho
for
or
Train to
Boone
Busan.
Yeah, the Train to Busan
Yeah.
guy who's
Good.
also done a bunch of other good stuff too. I never remember his name. It's terrible. I know I should because I love that movie.
I'm being serious with this. I would vote for Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, possibly. So it's Young Sang Ho. Young Sang Ho
Yeah.
is the Train to Busan
Sang Ho
guy.
Young. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did Young E recently, which isn't bad. I did think of Train to Busan when I thought, well, why not get a director of a Korean movie that's a very different style of zombies, but why not? Or maybe the guy. Well, I was just said the guy that did The Host, but then he did Parasite, and these are more parodies or social commentaries than they are horror movies.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Parasite's
Bong
zombie
Joon-ho.
movies are social commentary movies.
The Host is the closest that guy's done to sort of science fiction creature horror, but again, it was largely a social commentary with a monster in it.
Well, he's actually got another movie coming out called Mickey 17.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sci-fi movie about clones.
Oh, that'll be good. I'm not. Yeah, the Train to Busan guy, Young Sang Ho, he also did the Netflix show Hellbound, which I actually quite enjoyed. So he's got a grounding in horror stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I was thinking James Wan.
Okay, yeah.
If you wanted to go tap into the more horror aspect of zombies.
Yeah. There's a guy there's another Korean director called Kim Sung-hoon I would consider, and he did a film called Rampant, which was basically a period zombie piece with fast zombies again. But he also did a couple of great action movies. Guys like that, I think, would do a fantastic job.
Yeah. And we get more of these directors from Korea to do American movies. It would definitely help to raise get some American eyes on these movies that are really good.
Of God, yeah. I mean, there's just so many good ones. Well, I went to see one yesterday. I don't go to the cinema much, and it's an hour's drive each way to the one they show Korean movies. But I went to see Ransomed, which is a new Korean movie, yesterday, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. Absolutely loved it.
Cool.
And there's another one coming out in a couple of weeks called The Moon. I'm definitely going to go see that in the cinema. Stranded astronaut. So that's
that's cool.
it's kind of like The Martian in a sense, but you know, it'll be great. It looks good. It looks really good. The Moon, it's called. So, and then there's another one, Concrete Utopia, which is Seoul's destroyed by a massive earthquake, and there's only one apartment building left standing, and people living there have to defend it against everybody and anybody that's still alive that wants to get in.
So basically, is The Martian, but in the moon and with Koreans.
Kind of. The director's been very careful to say that he has not tried to copy any of the previous similar concept movies like Gravity or The Martian.
But it looks a lot like The Martian.
Yeah, but I don't care because I love The Martian, so I don't care.
Ariel, you're not going to be in any real danger of missing it. For right now, it's just going to be taken out of a lot of IMAX theaters. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, if you
go ahead.
No, Keith. Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you did want to watch a great buddy action hostage drama, buddy comedy action hostage drama, then go see Ransomed if you get the chance. It's a Korean movie. It's out right now. It's got the great Ha Young-woo is the lead actor in it. He's one of my favorite actors. He's brilliant. And then another guy in it called Ju Ji-hoon, they both star in big budget fantasy movies called Along with the Gods, Korean movies. They're co-stars in those, and they're in this, and the chemistry between the two guys. It's old-fashioned buddy cops, like a Lethal Weapon style relationship. You know, it's done so well. There's just no shit and bullshit in it. It's just pure entertainment and fun and drama and actions. Ransom.
You mean basically it's the exact opposite of any average episode.
Yes.
Of Kurtzman Trek. So,
opposite.
Did I stick another zinger in there? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Go after.
No, it's nothing like it's the sort of thing we used to get out of Hollywood in the 80s. You know. Except it's being made in Korea now, and it's a lot of fun.
That's because they don't have a chance. Stick up there. Well, you know what? I'm not going to complete the rest of that sentence.
What about the Roundup?
Oh, I love it. The Roundup movies, the Outlaws, the Roundup, and then the Roundup No Way Home.
Yeah,
freaking awesome movies. Third one was maybe slightly less good than the first two, but the first two are phenomenal. It's Ma Dong-suk, or Don Lee as he's known in the West. He was in Eternals, not that I've ever seen it, but you might recognize him from that. But he's the beast cop, they call him. His favorite move is just to go in a pile of bad guys and slap them. He's got zero whatever. Wow. But these are great. And there's the fight scenes. The fight scene in the Roundup on the bus. Everyone raves about the one in Nobody. This one's even better in my opinion. The fight on the bus, just kick-ass, unbelievably kick-ass.
Wow. There's a third Roundup coming.
It's
next
out.
Year.
I've seen it. It's already out. No Way Home. Roundup No Way Home.
No. There's one. I guess it would be the fourth technically.
It's the fourth. Sorry, the fourth in the series. You're right. They called them Roundup now, but the first one was called The Outlaws. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Roundup Punishment. It's supposed to be out in 2004.
Well, they teased it at the end of the third one because in the third one he's with a different crew. He's with a different crew from the first two. I think he's going to be back with his first crew because it had one of the recurring characters from the first two right at the end in the post-credit scene. And it's a humorous character. Basically, it's a guy that he grabs his balls all the time when he wants him to tell him secret information. He goes, "Come here," and the guys. So anyway, these are fun movies, and the fighting is just incredible in them. Choreography.
It's Tom.
Yeah,
hey, Tom.
Next week, TMNT, the 90s movie, not the one that's currently playing.
You know what, Tom? I need to ask you. I mean, if you can just hold on for a moment. As a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, would you like it if Marvel went ahead and just did a huge crossover between the Turtles and Daredevil? Or would you like it if the MCU decided to go ahead and just do that as a movie?
Well, technically, they've already crossed over with DC.
That would be my question. And Penny says Oppenheimer is a little boring. Well, you know.
Well, it's an explosive movie. You should get a bang out of it.
I
just
had
don't have any chili before. It'll blow you away. Really, it will.
This
it nukes the competition. I'm sorry, I have to do it.
This movie's no flash in the pan, really. It's not.
Okay, I have this from Brian. Should I?
Yeah, just while I was talking about it, if anybody wants to go see this movie, this is what you're looking for. It's called Ransomed. It's set in Civil War Beirut in the 80s. Kidnapped Korean diplomat, and these two hapless buggers have got to try and free him unofficially because the Korean government's trying to keep it arm's length for various reasons. The partnership, this pair are just brilliant together. So as I say, it's reminiscent of all the great buddy cop movies we used to love.
Are they better than the pair in The Point Man?
I would say they work even better together because there's more humor deliberately in their relationship. The other two guys, it was a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
But the taxi stuff, there's actually a real scene like this in the film.
Wow.
It's a car chased by various money-hungry militias through the streets of Beirut. And they're not but one's a diplomat and one's a taxi driver hiding in the Middle East because he can't go back to Korea because he's got a shady past. That was The Point Man, yeah. So this guy, Ha Young-woo, brilliant actor. This guy here wears the best plaid pants you'll see outside of Bob Hope.
If you say so.
Those are loud.
But I'm sorry to divert the show. I hope you don't mind. Like this thing.
Well, we're over by 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they're and it's not all comedy and action. There's some real emotional drama in it because the torture they put the poor guy through that they're trying to find. You know, he's tortured for a year.
Those pants are torture to me.
Those pants are pretty torturous. And he's got a big bag of money. He's walking around with this big bag of money in Beirut during a civil war, and everybody smells it. Everyone smells this money.
Wow.
This and you can see the relationship they have here. I'm not giving too much away when I say that the shady guy that's the taxi driver steals the money and strands the other guy in the desert, but then he has a change of heart and goes back for him, and this is the result.
Yeah, with each hit he's yelling, "I hate your pants! I hate your pants!"
Yeah. It's really, really good stuff. I just thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it. It's a shame I was the only person sitting in the cinema.
Oh.
It's a real shame.
Wow.
This is Ha Young-woo in the film called Assassination. He's a really charismatic actor, brilliant actor. This Assassination's a great Japanese occupation era movie. You might recognize the guy here. It's the Squid Game, leading Squid Game. These are all great movies. Along with The Gods, these are a lot of fun. Big budget Korean fantasy movies that those two guys starred in together. There's a third one of these coming out as well. I think you can see them on Netflix. These.
Oh, I didn't know that there was a third one.
Yeah, there's a third one coming. Yeah,
I'm glad Netflix gets a lot of movies from Korea because they do a lot of good cinema.
Oh, just the best. Now, something the director of Ransomed is this guy, but he also, if you go on Netflix, there's a series of shows and movies called Kingdom, which is zombie.
Yep.
He directed these. He created and directed these.
Wow.
These are great. This is great. This Duna Bay, the girl, the lead in it, she's a fantastic actress. So these are like, again, zombies, but set back in the Joseon period. And then
you know what? The lead actress of Kingdom, she was in that series from the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sense8.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, she's really good. Duna Bay, she's really, really good. And
Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, and the director also did this. This is the same guy that's in Ransomed, Ha Young Woo. It's a disaster movie called The Tunnel. He's basically trapped in his car in a collapsed tunnel, and they're trying to free him. Really neat little low-budget action, disaster movie, you know. So it's great
for
stuff.
the budget they shot it on. I mean, it's really tense.
Oh, very tense. Yeah, poor guy. You really feel he's such a good actor. You feel what he's going through.
Yeah,
Stuck for 3 weeks in the collapsing tunnel with very little water and food, and loses touch with the outside world. And they're going to give up on him, and he doesn't know that. Like it's a great Ransom, great movie, great partnership, great director. And I'd love to see these guys get more traction in the West, but yeah. Well, that's Bern Gorman's in it. You know Bern Gorman? He's in this.
Oh, he's in it.
Yeah, he plays this ex-CIA guy. I love this actor.
Yes,
He's a good actor.
He's great. Yeah, he was in The Offer, which of course was Charlie Bluder in The Offer. But anyway, that's enough of my. Well, you can see my show plan for the SCTV show. I've done 10% of what I need to do for that show.
No, Stephen, do you have something here? Do you want me to share it?
I do. This is what I was talking about. Earlier. The job. It's apparently just 4 of them now. First one was written in 1967. It's by a guy named John Christopher, and these are the tripod novels I was talking about. It's basically what would now be considered YA, but at the time, kind of everybody was reading them.
Yeah, were they based on the TV show, or was it based on them, or are they nothing to do with each other?
I don't think they have anything to do with each other. If they do, I don't recall. Like I said, I was trying to remember. I had to go and look these up.
Yeah, it's like late 70s. Oh yeah, no, the TV show was based on the books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was based on the books. Yeah, I didn't know that. I might read those now. I've never read them before. Thanks for pointing them out, mate.
Yeah.
Tripods. All right. I wrote it down so I can hunt for it and give it a read, because I read tons.
Wow.
Yeah, they based the TV show on it, according to the internet.
Cool.
No, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a low-budget kids science fiction show of the late 70s in Britain, early 80s. Like, same people that made Doctor Who at the time. Same production standards, but still, it was quite an interesting show, you know. I'm going to read those books now.
I think Amazon has the show as well. I got to find it, but yeah.
Well, you know what? I think we've gone. Yeah,
well over.
We outlasted the movie. Look, this is exactly what it would be like if you had gone to the movies with us. So we save you all of that headache and having to drive and pay for a ticket. You know, love doing these. Look, why don't we just go ahead and kind of wrap this up and say big thank yous to everybody today. So our big thank you today goes to Penny, Scribelight, the Peter Venkman fan site, Christiane Delmore, Ariel Ballet, who was really all over the chat today. And wow, you bringing it. Death Row TV, Spartan Flash Century, of course, Tom with Midnight's Edge. And whoa. AB says, so what you're saying, Keith, is that you're the new version of Mystery Science. Oh, if only I were that talented. Seriously.
You are. You are.
Oh, you guys are too nice. Checks in the mail. And of course, Six, because who doesn't love Six? Seriously. Six is amazing.
Yep.
She's a wonderful person.
Oh, she is the best. She's every online host dream girl. Seriously. So Deleted. What are you up to next, and where can people find you?
All right. Well, I will be hosting my show, Unscripted. That will be 8 p.m. tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to be talking about The Witcher, Mark Hamill, a Rachel Ziegler, and a number of other people who annoy me. Then later on that night for my show, The Other Side of Midnight, I am going. My guest host will be Das Wolfen for the show.
Yay.
I've heard of that guy.
And,
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
I hear he's really cool.
He is.
It's a late night chill stream. Any topic, anything goes. So anything short of getting my channel yeeted, because I do that very well on my own. And,
What time to what time?
That will be 12:05 Eastern, 11:05 Central. And Monday, I can announce this now, I am going to be the guest on Ryan Roger Athai's channel for Reality Based.
Cool.
Wow.
Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Central.
Congratulations. Seriously,
welcome.
congratulations. Brian, what are you up to, buddy? Where can we find you?
Diddly potatoes. I can be found, generally speaking, I can be found at my channel, That 70s Rock Fan, which film at 11. Pictures are about to be displayed on the screen if somebody is willing to throw that up there. So That 70s Rock Fan channel, and on Monday, I know John will be there.
Yeah.
We're doing another edition of our Cult Comedy Crew, which is our second edition of that themed show. And we're going to do SCTV. I felt like being a bit of a hoser, and being some Canadian. So we're going to talk that when it's such a huge topic. I don't know how we're going to condense it down into 2 hours, but and I'm still trying to figure out how long clips I can get away with. But so much to talk about there. Such an influential and wonderful show. Dr. Tongue's Monster Chiller House of Horror or whatever. The 3D House of Stewardesses. That was my favorite one. The 3D effects. Ooh. So that's on Monday, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And as I say, I did a review yesterday of this Korean movie Ransomed, which is up there if anyone wants to find out more about that movie. And then I did a lot of stuff thrown up recently. I did one of my very modest and not much watched series of books, things about science fiction books I do every now and again. So I did Star Maker, the Olaf Stapledon classic. So I built up quite a little library of those science fiction novel videos. As I say, 3 people watch them, but I appreciate all of them. Well, the Ringworld got about 6,500 views, so clearly people like Larry Niven. I don't think they've heard of Olaf Stapledon as much.
Yeah,
I just like to do stuff I love, so so that's me. I might be on Snowda. Well, somebody that sounds a bit like me might be on Cotton Council tonight, and then tomorrow night I'm usually on Culture After Dark. So,
Brian and Stephen, you have a new subscriber.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Ariel Ballet.
Nice.
Appreciate that very much. I appreciate everybody that supports me. It's very humbling, people listening to my drivel.
You know what?
Anyway, thanks for having me on,
worth it.
Keith, and guys. Appreciate it.
It's time well spent listening to you, Brian. Seriously.
Well, my buddy Christian Delorme's just texted me, and he's one of my main guys, and he was watching us earlier. He's a good lad. Thanks, guys. Appreciate being here. It's always fun.
It's our pleasure. Das Wolfen.
Yeah.
What are you up to next, and where can people find you?
Well, I'm going to be on Deleted Scenes, as you already know, and I'm going to be on That 70s Rock Fan for the comedy cult culture. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, Monday at 4 Central. Tuesday, I will be streaming on my own channel at 4 Central. And I decided this week, since I've got it, I'm going to, after I hit, if there's anything big that happens in geek news before then, I'll hit those topics. And then my game that I usually, because I usually talk about topics, then I do some gaming. I'm gonna show off Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow.
Nice.
I just want the bare necessities on that one, okay?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the bare facts.
You don't have to worry about. I'm not going to go anywhere near that scene at all.
See, that puts me
No.
off the game, but I felt like I wanted to play it.
Yeah, it's
The game without that bit, but the rest of it I was interested
Yeah.
in. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll be doing it without any adult stuff because I don't do that in my games.
No.
So, but yeah, that's and of course you can always find me here, Pop Culture Minefield, pretty much every show. So yeah,
I'm not sure Ariel Barley might be making an SCTV reference there because there was an episode that the Soviet CCCP1 channel took over their station.
That was a good episode.
It was.
Martin. So, what are you up to next, and where can people find you?
Here, every freaking day on Pop Culture Minefield, I will be here pushing buttons and being silent.
Yeah, but you're awesome like that, dude. Seriously. And you know what? You can find me here next Thursday. Just in time for Morning Coffee with Keith. And surprisingly, here with Das Wolfen and Martine and whoever else wants to show up. But I'll be here, and I'll also be on TGIF the following day, and then probably right back here on Saturday Morning Funtime. So, for everybody here, including myself, and of course, our good friend Gary, Get Better.
yeah.
This has been Saturday Morning Funtime, and have a better evening. See you.
Take care.
Ma, I'm doing a show. Ma, I'm doing a show. Ma, I'm doing a show.